Morning guys, Mark Ferrasci, ProTech Dog Training in Basil. First thing I want to do, I've been listening back to my videos, so I want to apologize for the sound. These are little cheap lapel mics that came out recently that I had one in the past similar to it, and this mics just don't seem to be fitting the bill because they're blowing out all the time and make it all scratchy. And so great concept, great idea, but if they can't have a good product that's gonna, and that was the pop mic or something like that. And these companies are doing different things and just flooding the market with advertisement on Facebook. It just drives me nuts. I need it. I mean, they're getting better at honing in on what we need, what we talk about, and they've got us wired now because of AI, and you can't get away from it. Anything I even mention in a post to go privately or anything in my emails, anything, and all of a sudden I'll get advertisement on it, right? So that Rise coffee is the one that's been going out, mushroom coffee. God, they're flooding the market. It gets irritating after a while. So I need to, and then they give you the power to turn it off, but who does? We're in a hurry, So social media, it's causing a lot of problems in it's changing the way our brains think, whether you realize it or not, because you're scrolling from one to one. I can't even sit down and watch a TV show anymore and relax and watch the whole movie because I'm so used to doing that. It's changing the way my brain. Now think about the teachers trying to deal with the kids in school, and they give them a device right away, and they've got devices from toddlers. Their brains are changing, right? Their ability to learn and to take their time, have patience to soak in information. I feel sorry for the teachers. And the parents just use it as a babysitter here, and then the kid stays out of the problems into that. But it's changing the way we think. It's changing the way we interact with each other. It's people don't realize how much of a bane in a lot of ways this is in our society. It really is causing a problem until the psychologists really put together a lot of studies and really get a few more years under our belt, 5-10 more years under our belt dealing with social media, and then it's constantly changing. You know what I mean? You got TikTok, you got all these different stuff that's the same thing. Boom, 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 boom. Just one film, it drives me nuts. That's why I don't like social media. Stay off of it, as much. Well, I'm still there a little bit, trying to represent myself, but I don't live it and go crazy on social media and have to get all this recognition by digital magic and the little sound that hits the screen and all that. It's just who I am. I'm an older guy, and so it's because of that. And I'm also pretty savvy about the internet. I've seen it come for the social aspects of things, of what I was interested in the very beginning. I always like to tell people I was on the internet before there was an internet. I had a mailing list called Protection Dogs L, sponsored by Apple, way before anybody even had any of that. That's why I know a lot of these people. I may not have shook their hand or really know them personally, but I dealt with them on the internet, Ed Frawley, all of them, and then Ed Frawley went through his time period where a lot of people that don't like the man, unfortunately, because of how aggressive he was to get his piece of the pie. He's getting older now. It's changing now. But he's done a good job with his platform. With Michael Ellis, that's the key. He's the one that's changed our whole industry as far as breaking it down into layman's terms and educating the masses in the way he has, taken us from that old Keeler and Kohler method from yank and crank into basically weaving in a lot of the sciences behind learning theory, right? We didn't have that before then. He's done a great job with that. He's affected our business and our industry, and been a lot better for the animals, a lot better for the students that go through his school, and it's permeated. You can get online and learn anything you want to learn. Good. Let me get my clicker. Okay, this is Basil. Let me go ahead and introduce her. Basil is a French bulldog, obviously, and she's been with me for about 3 days now. She just got here. She's a little cutie, huh? Great temperament. And my goal with her is to not treat her like a small dog, but it's hard because she is a small dog. So she's trembling out here in this little nippy cold and all that, and having a tendency to go to what I call small dog syndrome. So as a human, you start coddling her and treating her like a baby, and you end up making a neurotic mess. She's still a dog. At her core, she is still a dog, okay? And if you treat her accordingly, you'll have a lot better time. So I grab that jowl and pat her with hard pats. I make her walk. I don't stop and pick her up, even though she stops. And then you turn around and you have a tendency, human nature, she's a baby, you want to pick her up. She gets what she wants, right? So I very subtly, it's not like it's a major overbone. I don't put her out in the kennel with the big dogs and leave her out there to get cold. She's in the house with me. She's in a crate. She gets treated differently than I would a bigger dog, but at the same time, I'm always thinking about, I've got to treat this dog like a dog and have her develop in that way. She'll be a lot tougher and a lot better dog because of it, and a lot less of a neurotic mess. Now, can I guarantee that the owner's not going to start cheating, oh, my little baby, and then screw up? I'll give you a little story. I had a little min pin many years ago. I was working in pet stores and trying to get my clients out of the pet store. And I would do some in kennel, in board, right, at my house. And that was how I kind of kept my feet in the water as far as being a professional trainer. So I had a customer come to the pet store, and she had a little min pin. And it was her little baby, and the whole thing, I call it the small dog syndrome, the humans to have a baby, right? So then I took the dog in, and my goal was to make it the biggest dog I could, right? So I had a little finger sleeve, and they used to go to the dog shows and stuff, and they had lighters that they had a jute sleeve you slide on as a lighter cover. So I used that for my bite sleeve. I had that dog, by the time it was done, proudest little dog in the world, and just stout as all heck and min pin, right? And I was real proud of the work I'd done. I'd done a dang good job. And I gave the dog back to the customer, and she loved it. Oh my God, she was just enthralled by it, And so I tried to give her some lessons and tried to work with her. And within 2 weeks, she had that dog back to acting like a neurotic mess. Little yap. You ever see a little small dog with a lady, and they come in and the dog's trying to bite you, and it's a neurotic mess, because how do you treat it? And then my little snick comes, my little baby. And that's what it is. It's a replacement baby, right? Dogs are not humans. Treat them like a dog with respect. I mean, I don't have to, respect the species. As I was listening to a podcast last night, I don't think that's the exact quote, but I couldn't copy paste it into my notes. I wanted to. I had to type it out. I had to go back, but I was so, how do I say it? I had so much respect for the individual they were interviewing. It was on Working Dog Depot with Howard Young and Richard. I can't think of Richard's last name right now, but great podcast they're putting together. And this gentleman's ex-military and hanging out with Armin Winkler. And I mean, this guy's a teacher, and he's going to be around for a long time. He's going to make his mark in the industry and then some. Will he be internet famous? I don't think he really wants to be, but getting out there in the circles that he needs to get out there and be hanging around the law enforcement, the Leo and all that, because he's got that background behind him. He's going to kick ass and take names. I have a lot of respect for the gentleman and his perspectives and how he views things. Remember, guys, you never stop learning and growing. Even though you want to think that you know everything, you never do, right? You always have something else to learn. There's always somebody that can rub off on you. Come on, baby, come on. Good girl. All right, so let me go ahead and get her working, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Obviously, this is her first. I worked her a couple times in the house. I've got chicken as my. Well, come on, you. Come on, there you go. Good girl. I've got chicken as my reward. And I'm trying to basically condition the marker, right? Charging the marker is what we call it. So I'm charging the marker. So all I'm doing is clicking and then food. Click, food, and a lot of that. And then I'm trying to go into getting her to sit with my motion. She's got that wired. It's not hard. Dogs are very receptive to body language. So when you push back, go up and push back, boom, they're going to fall into a sit, right? So then you take my hand. I've got the food in the hand. She wants it. And I'm going to take my palm and I'm going to put it right into her nose, right? And as I'm going down, I'm not pushing her down. Don't get the idea. I'm just guiding her, right? Trying to get her the idea what I want her to do. Now, notice what happened. She stood up. This is the thing. Every dog's got challenges. The gentleman on the podcast I listened to last night is talking. He's into Dutch Shepherds, and they're so smart, and they are. That's why I love them. They're a challenge for me, and that's why I love the Dutch Shepherd. Plus, they're real when it gets done, right? They're very, very good dog, working dog, whatever. But they're not for the layman. The general public shouldn't have one because they're so smart. You do the wrong thing, and they're going to learn the wrong as easy as they do the right. So that means they're a lot more of a challenge, and they're going to overwhelm, not really overwhelm. What was I looking for? The word. They're going to outmatch. That's the word I'm looking for. Outmatch the normal layman or general public, and people think they want them, and they think, but the dog is all that and then some, and he's going to end up having all kinds of problems if you don't know what you're doing. Because, like I said, Dutch Shepherds are so dang smart. So every dog has its challenges. Small dog challenge. What is that? When I was a kid, it was a lot easier to bend over, do the healing and stuff, and you're bent over, and I call them a backbreaker, right? They'll break your back because it's not easy to bend over and constantly be dealing with. And then things like just that, she just did it. Yep, I should have clicked. Let me get my clicker going. So that being the case, each dog has its challenges. And I think Justin Rigney is out there, and he's got a long table he's got built up, and he put himself a stick across it that the dog had to come underneath the stick. And that's how he got the dog to approximation, start going into a down, right? Well, I don't have that. I'll get some creativity, and I'll figure some things out, maybe a crate that I can put the box on the top of, or whatever I need to do to get her set up. I need to work her indoor, but this is good for her. She's out here, and it's a little nippy this morning, about 9 o'clock, and still pretty nippy. But if I let her get away with being a little foo-foo, she'll be a weak-minded and weak physically. If you treat her, oh, my little snipgums, you're constantly trying to protect her from what life is going to give a regular dog, you'll end up with a weak little neurotic mess. You ever see a parent